Welcome to Dora Tech Essential Series. Ease your learning.
In this video, we will learn about different types of DNS records. There are two types of DNS queries we generally perform. Forward lookup looks for the IP address of a server, host name, or domain. This is the most used lookup by every machine and users. Reverse lookup. We have the IP and need to know which server or host owns it. This record is generally used for troubleshooting purposes. Most of the records created on DNS server are forward lookups. The pointer record, PTR, is used for reverse lookup. We will look at these records creation in our advanced videos on DNS servers. As mentioned in our basic video, the DNS resolver / recursive server contacts many DNS servers. These are known as name servers, as highlighted above. The server, which hosts the final DNS records for a destination domain, is known as authoritative name server. The actual host name of these servers can be different than the DNS records hosted on them. Let's focus on different types of DNS records and their usage. The first and most used record is the A record. It simply resolves the FQDN name of a server, domain, or website into an IP address. The IP address could be public or an internal IP, depending on where your requesting machine is located. A FQDN, fully qualified domain name, refers to a machine or service name registered under a domain. If your machine name is mypi and you belong to a domain, mydomain.com, here is how your machine's FQDN will look. Here is a broader example of how a FQDN can have multiple subdomains within the primary domain. Here is an example of a web page which shows the protocol running on a server and the path of the HTML files related to the web page you would browse. The quad A record is similar to the A record. Instead of IPv4, it resolves the IPv6 address. The IPv4 contains 32 bits, whereas IPv6 have 128 bits, i.e. 4 times more bits, hence it's referred as quad record. There will be a dedicated video on this. A name record, alias name, simply points to the hosting server of your company's root domain name. As mentioned earlier, the server hosting your records can have a different host name to itself. Here is an example of how the A name provides an IP address of a machine which doesn't belong to that domain. Alias names are simple alternate names, such as nickname, short name, or initials of an person or domain, which can mask the actual name of a person or domain from plain sight for security or simplification reasons. The CNAME or canonical name is again an alias name, just like an A name record. Instead of pointing to a root domain, it can point to any third-party server or domain. We can host our domain name, as usual, on our DNS server, and point the destination to the vendor DNS record. The demerit is, if the vendor have multiple CNAME records internally, it can increase the DNS resolution time. The vendor may swap servers or change IPs as per their scheduled maintenance and update their DNS records. We as a service receiver doesn't need to do any changes to our DNS records till the pointer record is same. The SOA, Start of Authority, record is a fundamental component of the domain name system. A DNS zone file can contain only one SOA record. It helps provide every essential piece of information needed by the domain, including its authoritative name server, the email address of the administrator responsible for the domain, and other related details. The name server is the actual public-facing server which resolves queries related to our domain. We register it under the public TLD servers to get the queries redirected to us for our domain. MX, Mail Exchange Records, contain the authorized servers dedicated over Internet for email communication. These servers listen continuously on port 25 for our email domain and filter the emails coming to us. There is an advanced video on this topic, covering all aspects of the record. Text records are simple text entries created for specific services on a DNS server. There are specific formats defined for each service, which are covered in the expert sessions. SRV, service, record tell us where a specific service is running in a domain. A server can run multiple applications and services on custom ports. We can distribute such services of a domain to multiple servers. The SRV record shows which server is hosting that specific service through port redirection. SPF, Sender Policy Framework, is a text record hosted for email communication. MX record shows the receiving servers for email domain. SPF record shows the authorized servers to send email from our domain. There is an expert level session on this topic for email administrators. This covers most of the important records an IT professional should know about. There are many more advanced records, which we will cover in that specific domain videos. Hope you enjoyed this series. More to come soon. Like, share, and comment. Press the bell icon and subscribe to get notified about upcoming videos.